Hello and welcome to our return podcast under the new banner of Real Game Media. We're really excited to be bringing our podcast back to you and have some rather controversial topics on the table to discuss today. But before we move on, let's introduce today's panel members. Now, you should all know me by now. My name's Bella Rise and I'm the Editor-in-Chief for RGM. Next up, we have Julius Malco, who is one of the new directors of RGM. Say hi.
Howdy.
Yeah, that was compelling. Joining us, we also have one of our senior writers, Mr. Eric Jackson.
Hello, hello.
That's slightly better. Returning from Safari, we have Anthony Askew.
Hey, everybody, vote Trump.
Oh God!
That's how I'm gonna set the tone.
I'd just like to add a disclaimer here that is not the opinion of the entire RGM network. And last but not least, my partner in crime, Mr. Christian Allen.
Hello, hello.
Also today we have a pretty cool giveaway for anyone that's entered via our website and has joined the chat section. So be sure to stick around because somebody's going to be walking away with a copy of either Destiny, the collection, which includes Rise of Iron, FIFA 17, or Mafia 3. So first up, what I wanted to do is just have a quick chat about how we came about and what that means to the gaming community so that you can all understand what we do at RGM and what we hope to achieve in the community. So I guess I'll kick that one off and then we'll move across to Julius. So basically, RGM is a compilation of various different writers, streamers, YouTubers who all have a passion for gaming in general. We all understand that people have their platform of preference, but here we like to embrace everybody's preference, no matter what console they play on, no matter what game genre they like to play. Everybody's welcome, and you'll find all the information that you need about the games and the platforms that you love on our website. So our main focus really is to just engage with you as a community, to get your feedback, to find out the information that you want, and to ensure that you're getting what you need out of your gaming experience. So be sure to interact with us any opportunity that you get so that we can tailor what we do to meet your needs more.
Unless
so Julius,
you play Nintendo, then
no,
away.
Nintendo is welcome. Shush, hush from the peanut gallery.
Oh, that's cool. I'll stand up for Nintendo.
So, Julius, do you want to chime into what it means to you to be a part of RGM and what you want to bring to the table for the community?
Absolutely. So our other co-founder, director, couldn't be with us tonight, but Mike, our thoughts and prayers are with you and your family tonight. But when Mike introduced me to the idea of RGM and what it stood for, I was sort of in the process of winding down my own blog, and just because of lack of time and just not enough resources at the time, I kind of sat back and I said, you know what, this is an opportunity for us to grow a brand and a community focused on gaming. And to bring the dialogue back from, sales numbers, whose plastic box is better, and all these things that were happening on social media. And we wanted to try and reunite and unite gamers, old and new, to the idea that, hey, you know what, we can all coexist. We can all like what we like. We can play whatever we want to play, and have good, constructive conversations around the passion that we have, which is gaming. And then when he introduced me to you, and we got together and sat down and looked at all of our ideas and how our teams could fit together, I think we've brought together a lot of people, and thanks to all of our writers and our community moderators and our streamers, over the last few months we've amassed quite an awesome team, and I'm proud of everyone.
Well said.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely. So, Eric, as our senior writer, what does it mean for you to be a part of RGM? What do you hope to bring to the table for the community?
I'm going to share the same sentiment as you guys, if I may. I'm doing EXL, and you still for a lot of the same principles that RGM is still standing for. Overall, it's a safe place for gamers to to come, retire to, just read pieces about gaming, who kind of share the same interests. And, like you and Julia said, it's not necessarily about the console you choose to play on or the platform you choose to play on, but the respect for gaming as a whole. And, I think that's what RGM stands for first and foremost. And that's one of the things I'm most proud of, especially in the culture that we live in. And, you see what goes on Twitter, all the time. It seems people lose focus on what's more important. Today, it's okay to be a brand fan, but you should be a gamer first. And as a gamer first, you should be open to what other people get into, what other people like. Because you may also learn something, something that you may not have thought you had an interest in. You may find that. So that's one of the things I take pride in. The platform that we stand on is non-biased, boring, just a safe place. And we need that. And I hope that we continue to foster that.
Absolutely. Now, Anthony, you part of RGM on more of the live aspect of things for joining us for the podcast. So maybe give us your viewpoint as a gamer and how you feel about gaming in general.
I felt about gaming now the same way that I felt back when I first started gaming in the late 80s, and that's we need to bring back the McDLT because it's delicious and no one's talking about it, and it's an issue that to this day
McDLT, God.
Yeah, it's incredible, and just because a bunch of environmentalists were like, oh, styrofoam, it had to ruin it for the rest of us, so we've had to suffer. And there's a whole generation of people that are like, what's a McDLT? And I'm just like, well, screw you for being not born in the same era that I was born, and I hate your guts, and you probably play Nintendo.
I'm
glad we got the
keep the hot side hot
away
and the cold side cold.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Bella, did you have a DLT?
I am tweeting a picture of that.
Yeah, this is going to be great. And Christian, again, you help us more on the community engagement side of things, and also joining us as a co-host on this podcast and also my Developers Workshop podcast. So we'll do the same thing with you and just get your viewpoints on gaming in general and how you feel about the industry.
Yeah, I mean, coming from it from a game developer, I like to interact with gamers, and I like to see, unfortunately, a lot of game developers don't get to kind of unfetteredly, kind of interact with gamers on a regular basis. And so it's great to, hear about current events and see what people are talking about. And makes me keep up on my toes a little bit on keeping up with what's going on in the industry so I can actually be informed. But yeah, and it's nice to see too, especially in the past few years, some of the climate around gaming has gotten a little not happy. So it's nice to see a upbeat group of people talking about games in a positive way.
And as we can hear here, a lot of people here play games outside of their family life, because we can hear Sarah in the background trying to say hi.
Yeah.
Oh, cute.
That's how I cry when I'm not allowed to play games. So
yeah. Awesome. So that gives people who are here for the first time a bit of perspective on who we are, why we're here, and what we do. And for people who are returning to the podcast that are used to the dynamics that we had when we were previously just EXL, that now gives you an idea that we're still the same. We still have the same ideals. We still want to provide you with the same kind of content. We've just merged, become a bit bigger, and are bringing you more content and hopefully better content. So let's move into the meat and potatoes of the podcast then, shall we? So developers drop support for Oculus Rift over Trump support. Now, being an Australian, I am lucky that I pretty much get to just glaze over the entire thing. I would rather get perspective from Americans and Canadians about how you feel about this particular subject matter. Who would like to go first on that?
I'm Canadian, I'll nominate one of you. I'm gonna go over to the sideline with you, Bella.
He's like, I'm Switzerland.
I don't see what the big deal is. He just wants to make 3D great again. God bless him. God bless him. He's just like, we need to put up walls against these 2D whatever, virtual walls, physical wall. He's all about walls,
So as a developer and American, like, and as someone who just shipped on Oculus Rift, to me, I don't really get what the huge deal is. Like, there was some Facebook guy just like a month ago gave like $20 million to his opponent. So it's like, okay, great. He gave millions of bucks to some political organization. So what? It's like not, I just don't, I can separate, I guess, business and politics. Having known a lot of people in the industry, if all the customers based all their decisions based on the politics and donations of the people that make the games or made the products, there's not a lot anybody would be buying.
Yeah, it's kind of unfair to criticize or even like tarnish a company who's unrelated to anything political at all based off of one guy's like, hey, this is pretty cool. Look at this.
Yeah,
it doesn't make any sense to me.
But what would make sense is a virtual reality wall building game. Just put that out there.
There could be that, Christian. Scribble that one down.
I'm on it.
It should be like a mini game, like hidden somewhere.
Yeah, there's just a map. The whole line of the country, the southern border, is like 2,000 miles, and you just walk and just place. You use like Minecraft controls and just place down walls for like ever.
It would easily be it would easily be like the number one game in Texas.
Yeah,
guaranteed.
Oh God.
Yeah,
we love
guaranteed.
You, Texas.
That huge southern market. Oh my goodness.
Oh God. I knew what I was in for when I invited you. It's okay. Let's move along. So the fact that a number of developers have actually spoken out on Twitter about this, publicly saying that they're pulling their support for the Oculus Rift based on the fact that the founder, which is Palmer Luckey, is a supporter of Donald Trump. Like, is that going too far, or is that just like literally the epitome of standing up for what you believe in?
Or it's trying to get free press.
Wow.
Well, that works too. I mean, and it's worked really well. Insomniac have actually put out a statement saying that they condemn all forms of hate speech, and everybody has the right to their opinions and stuff. That doesn't reflect their views, and they also understand that everybody who works at Oculus doesn't actually share the same viewpoints as Donald Trump. And yeah, I just think it's. I was actually really surprised to see something like that come up, because, I mean, it's you either support Trump or you support Hillary, right? Like.
But I mean, are we doing it that way? Like, is that what we're going to narrow it down to?
Well, no, but I mean, as far as where things are going and how this is going to end up, like, the majority of people are with that from what I can see. But that's just my Australian perspective from what I see on the news. So by all means, please educate me if I'm wrong.
Well, I think more people are actually mad specifically because the group he gave money to makes really mean memes about people. So it kind of got wrapped up in that, Twitter online people posting, is the frog racist or whatever that stuff was going on. Kind of got wrapped all up in that. I think it would have been less of a controversy if he had just given to some, regular super PAC. I don't think it would have even been it. Again, same exact thing happened a month ago with one of the founders of Facebook. He gave $20 million to Hillary Clinton's campaign. And it was on the news, but it wasn't like nobody's freaking out and saying like, "Oh, I'm pulling my,
Yeah, but that's also because people. Facebook. That's also because people care about Facebook. Who really cares about the Oculus Rift right now? Right? Like, let's be 100%. If friggin' Josh Whedon came out with like a Vote Trump T-shirt, who's not going to watch Avengers? Who's going to be like, oh, I'm skipping the next one for sure. I don't care what happens to Thanos. Like, no one.
So you think this is like a possible trolling like event? It's like, hey,
yeah, because
what's the fastest way to shoot to the top? Yeah, what's the fastest way to get notoriety? Like, I say something.
Bad press.
Yeah.
Bad press. Yep.
Yeah, there's no such thing as it. So yeah, and nowadays you're in a culture where instantaneously people jump on. They read the headline and they're off and running. I mean,
nobody is like no one is publicly saying I support Trump if they don't understand like either the consequences, pros and cons of saying that. Like, no one's just casually saying it. It's a political statement to say it, especially if you're not just a civilian, but you're an owner of a company and you're putting it out there. Like, you're putting your company in your opinion, right? Like, it's not just a random thing where a civilian can say, oh, I vote for this guy, and who cares? That's just some random dude. If you're a company and you're saying that, you're not saying it randomly. You're saying it very, very strategically. Like, that is a intentional thing that you're doing.
But I don't think
that's right. And I think you're getting to the root of that there. Sorry, Christian, you go.
I was just saying, I don't think he came out and said it. I think he was stealth posting on Reddit in this group, and someone basically cross-linked and figured out that it was him. I don't think he actually came out and publicly announced it.
Yeah, but isn't that doing it publicly? Like, how difficult is it to figure out who people are on Reddit,
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Well, he backpedaled.
but like, he did.
Yeah.
Did he backpedal? What did he say?
Yeah. He said he created the post, but not the account. So there was an email that was leaked and it was going back and forth, and there was like, okay, well, so you gave this post to someone to post on your behalf, and it's crazy.
That's weird.
I would have more respect for him if he stood his guns. Be like, yep, that's just how I'm voting.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, why backpedal?
But it's amazing how the whole thing kind of became like a game of telephone. Like, what started on one end of the dinner table became something completely different by the other end. Because like Christian said, it wasn't that he came out and said I support, but by the time we got to the end of the table, it's like he's in full support of Trump and he hates everybody. It's sort of like, But it's sort of like, I don't know if you guys remember when the owner of Chick-fil-A got in trouble for his beliefs in for homosexual, being against homosexuality. He's a religious person. He had a belief in, that kind of was like a wildfire. I'm not saying that this situation is the same, but it is very much.
But he stood his guns though.
Let's be careful not to turn this into a political debate and keep it on the subject matter of how it relates back to Oculus. Yeah. Because
no.
Bunch of Americans into a room. I mentioned Trump.
No. Like this is actually interesting because like at least the Chick-fil-A guy stuck to his guns. Like I didn't hear any public apologies after saying, "Oh no, actually, gays are okay." Like he stood by his guns, and I respect that. Whatever opinion you have, if it's your opinion and you stick by it and you're unfaltering, then that's your opinion and it's solid, right? I just hate seeing people flip flop. You know what I mean? Because it's even people, and I feel bad for these people that get dragged into an opinion, whether it's my boss said this and now I'm associated with this, and there's either two choices: either you stand out and be like, nope, I'm against what my boss says and I'm this, or you're just like, well, we're in too deep, guys. It's too late. We might as well just be this, and then you go along with it, right? Like that's just kind of how it is.
Right, and that's kind of why I was bringing it up, because like we were saying, as someone who's the head of a company, there is sort of like a responsibility that you have. But I mean, he stuck to his guns. We're not kind of sure where Palmer stands on. He's kind of like you said, backpedaling a little bit. But I was kind of throwing it out there to say, how fast things can like spread like a wildfire.
I mean, I think that's the relevant thing is just in today's media age. I mean, that was less than 24 hours. Between like got posted that night and like the next day people are pulling their games or saying they're going to pull their games. And I know a lot of my developer friends on Facebook that lean a certain way. There's a lot of chatter about it. Well now I've decided on a Vive kind of thing. So it was definitely, it went around like wildfire.
So do we think that this is actually going to dramatically impact sales on the Oculus Rift and the amount of games that are going to be developed for it because of this?
That's kind of ridiculous. Like number one, I can't even see the Oculus Rift being anything like spectacular. I don't think this is going to do anything. This people forget about this a month from now. Like this is just a cliff note in the history of the Oculus Rift.
Yeah, exactly. It's like almost anything like this. The internet has a very short memory.
Yeah, it's like one of the Japanese developers, big famous one, the Metal Gear guy. He comes out every couple of years and says something that offends Westerners, and it doesn't seem to affect his sales.
Fair enough. All right, so let's call that a media stunt then, shall we, and move on?
Oh, that was civil.
It was very civil, actually. I was quite surprised at how civil that was. Hence the reason I'm moving on before I get away from that. So, Michael Patcher. PC gamers are like racists. apparently.
Stone him.
Who's got an opinion on that one?
Oh man. Go on. Sorry.
I thought he was talking about maybe racing games, but then I reread the title and oh yeah.
I don't understand. What did he like? End up on like zero punctuation about the PC Master Race and thought it was real, or?
Oh, well, his actual statement was, I think PC gamers are like racists. They only like their own kind, and they have no interest in venturing out and mixing with other races.
Let's be honest here. If we all had amazing PCs, we would all be like that. If I had an incredible PC that's able to play like the highest games at the highest resolution, I would be such an elitist snob. Oh my goodness, you have no idea. I would be like,
play Halo 5.
Oh, like it just forget about it. I would have other things. No more Jenny from the block. I would be the whole block. I would bulldoze. I'd evict people. I would trump the hell out of that block. You know what I mean? It would be like a whites only block. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter. I would be such an elitist jerk if I had a great PC. I understand where they're coming from. I really, really do. They especially because they look how much money they have to spend to be an elitist PC snob. Just the amount of money they've earned the right to be that way. They really, really have. God bless them.
Wow, you sound just like him, because he literally also goes on to say, PC gamers are arrogant twits who are convinced that what they do is better than anybody else can possibly do.
I mean, is he wrong?
PC lives matter.
However, if you're an Xbox owner, you're always wondering what it's like to be a PlayStation owner, and that is a great opportunity, apparently. And I think that if you're not a next-gen console owner at all, which would include subsets of PC users, this is the one you would buy. This PS4 is the obvious choice. So he's gone from calling all PC gamers to racists, saying that, you're arrogant and twits if you actually do that. And also that basically your best option of purchase now is the PS Pro.
It's interesting to me that I don't know why Michael Pachter is even talking about this, because he's a financial analyst.
Right. I was going to say, is he downtrending?
Yeah, exactly. It's like people not buying his signing up for his report service. I mean, everybody follows what he, in the industry, but when you're talking money stuff, you go to his site and track it all. And so I don't know why he's even talking about that. But yes, it's also weird to me that he's basically promoting a platform, because he's kind of, at least in my opinion, he's seen as kind of like a news source. I mean, in any hobby or thing where you have like you're saying, like the elite people that can afford to dump, $2,500 into something. I mean, you see it in the shooting community, you see it in the car community. The guys that customize do whatever, and you roll up in your Volvo or whatever, and they're going to be snobby about it. And PC gamers can be snobby. I mean, I've dealt with, I was, when Xbox really took off in the early 2000s and a lot of developers moved away from PC as the primary platform, there's a whole lot of pissed off PC gamers that I dealt with on a daily basis.
But do you feel they've earned the right to be snobby, though, because of the amount of money that they have to spend in order to play the latest games at the highest settings? Because if you're on console, like next-gen console, like, real consoles, it's an even playing field, right?
Ow!
We're sorry, 360. We still love you.
Jab out of nowhere.
I still play.
Let's be honest here, guys. Come on.
Well, I don't know. Are they snobby? I mean, yeah, maybe.
They've earned the right to be. I think they've earned the right to be, because if you're spending that much money on your console when everybody else only spends a fraction of that, you have the right, in my opinion, to be like, whoa, mine's better, because you've spent so much friggin' money on it. It's impossible to relate to those people. It really, really is. Yeah, I have a mid-range PC. I can play some games. I can play XCOM 2 on medium settings. I love that game. But I can't play it on high. Otherwise, it lags up my whole PC. But there are some people out there that can play those games in like the most amazing settings, and it looks amazing and crisp. And in my opinion, if you're going to spend that much money, then you can brag to your friends about how much better your system is than us, because like if you bought like an Xbox One or a PS4, you're dropping like $300 to $400, right? Compared to like $1,200, if not $2,000+ on a high-end PC. That's a huge difference.
Right, but the argument could be made
So what you're saying
that
is you can put up some walls.
100%,
Right.
100%.
I'm going to need to insert another disclaimer here soon, aren't I? Sorry, Julius, you were saying?
But the argument could be made, like you can buy a $300, $400 console and have a number of games that you can't get on the PC platform, right?
And vice versa too, right? Like there's always going to be like exclusives for console and for PC. I'm just saying, like in my point of view is like, if you're spending that much money, like literally, 3 to 4 times more than the average console player, then like it's impossible for you to be equal to us.
Well,
You're never going to look at
understand
it that way, right?
Well,
exactly.
you know,
right? So
Give you the right to be a complete arsehole about it?
I think so. Why not? I mean, like the higher up you move in life, the more rights you have. Isn't it?
And it pulls up to like a shitbox in the mall, and then waits for the guy to show up and go, "I'm driving a Beamer."
Yeah, I know why.
Well, I mean, okay. Well,
Nice Honda, dude.
let's be fair here. What year is the Beamer?
No, I'm totally envisioning the dude that pulls up at school, like with his collar turned up. He gets out of like
Yes, exactly.
He's got,
Billy
like,
Madison?
in his pocket.
He's got like the duster on his hood.
there's that PC guy. You know,
Oh, God. Well, you know what?
Let
I
them.
think that we should be a lot more thankful to PC gamers because let's be honest, they beta test all the crap so that on the console we only get the good stuff.
Mhm.
No.
I don't know if
Everything
we can
goes
do
to
that.
PC.
No,
like
I don't-
everything goes to PC first, apart from like your big, AAAs and stuff like that. So basically, they're
Yeah.
beta testing everything and weeding out everything that is not console worthy, and then we get left with all these things that can come to console. So thank you, PC Master Race.
Well, some people might argue that everything's like spec'd out on PC and then given over to the console. Like, here you go.
No, it's mostly in AAA. It's the opposite. It's built for the target platform and then ported to PC.
There is somebody on his computer right now that he games with, and he's just seething angry at you guys. Like he's grinding his teeth. Like he's probably lost his appetite to that refreshing red Mountain Dew. He's not gonna drink anymore. So his team's like, oh, I just wasted like 175 on this drink. Now I can't do this, and he's just like angry and seething. And the only thing that I can think of for that guy is, you know what, man? I'm with you. I am 100% with you. You keep being snobbish. You keep being elite. God bless you. Make PC great again.
Well,
But
he's
I-
probably also salty because he bought No Man's Sky.
Ooh.
Oh. No.
Uncalled for.
No.
Too soon. Too soon.
That's brutal. That's brutal. And
But
I like
But
I like
back
the nugget
to
that Chris-
Patrick, I still don't get where your mind makes the leap from snobby to racist. That's just a weird. Like,
Yeah.
I would never
Yeah,
think of describing someone of like, oh, these people don't want to interact with other people, so they're like racists. It's like, what? No, that doesn't even make sense.
Elitist,
Yeah.
maybe.
When I read that headline, I said, "Oh, it's going to be a great day on Twitter."
It was.
Get out your popcorn.
Yeah. It's like, here we go.
Yeah, so I was just completely blown away by the fact that somebody would actually refer to a group of people who seem to be, it's kind of like house proud is kind of a good way of putting it. A bunch of people who are house proud and referring to them as basically being racist, which in itself is disgusting, considering the fact that racism is just such a terrible topic as it is. To even go and take something like that is real, that is a real life issue for many, many people, that has seen so many atrocities in the past and still to today happen under the banner of racism, and refer to people who love their PC gaming more as being that. I think that was a really disgusting place for him to take that. So
it's not a good look. It's not a good look. Even if he was trying to be cheeky, it's not a good look.
Well, he tried to say that that it was like selective editing or something, and then they just the whichever site was talking to him basically posted the audio him actually saying it. So I mean, he's basically apologized, but still, that's weird. I do a lot of interviews, and I don't think I've ever gone that far.
Yeah, it was
mistake.
It was like the oddest thing.
Called a bunch of people racist. Oops.
Yeah. And he's, I won't call him like controversial, but people definitely kind of like look at him as like one of those guys. It's like he likes to troll a little bit. But I saw that when I saw that headline, I was like, the hell, what is he thinking?
Yeah, it was the dumbest thing I've seen come out since the Oculus article about Trump. It's like, what's going on? Is there something in the water this week? People eating the wrong mushrooms again? I don't understand. All right, so I think we've pretty much rinsed that. So moving along, we have some, and I'm going to call this nothing but rumor and speculation because there's no real basis that we can found this information on, apart from the fact that there are a few different sites that seem to have found a bit of information to stores that have received contact from Nintendo, letting them know that they have until, is it September 30th to place all their orders for NX, because apparently they will be getting their the stock of them before Christmas. So we could potentially, according to this information, have NX on the shelf and in our Christmas stockings this year. How do we all feel about that? And do we think that that is an actual thing that could happen under such tight time frames? Especially considering Zelda isn't even coming out till next year.
Well, first and foremost, I say this as a Wii U owner. I kind of said, the first thing I took from that was, who the hell is ordering Wii U's? Nintendo's like, hey, get that Wii U order in for Christmas. Okay. Me personally, no, I still don't think NX drops this year. I think they stick to March.
Why would it drop though? There's no reason for it. They don't have anything yet. They don't have anything to lead with.
That's not necessarily true. I mean, there are quite a few release titles that have been announced already that seem to be ready to be shippable by the end of this year. So that could actually happen. But my understanding from what Nintendo have said previously, which doesn't necessarily mean that that's what's going to happen, but from what they've said previously is that their main focus is on ensuring that they get Zelda completed so that it can be that like the headliner release title with the NX. So does this mean that if this is true, that we could perhaps see a new release date for Zelda and it's going to come out slightly earlier? I don't think so.
No, I doubt that.
So either. And I'm ready for. I'm all about NX, but I don't think, considering where we stand right now with the, getting close to the holidays.
Yeah, I mean, they would have to. Weird. They would have to have like all their advertising spun up like next week. Like it. I mean,
yeah.
You don't announce a Christmas product in late September, early October. I mean, that would be crazy.
Well, and Zelda's a pretty hardcore game to lead with. I'm not saying Zelda's not popular because it's hugely popular and it's definitely a killer app, but it's a killer app for Nintendo enthusiasts. The casual gamer and the casual kid or whatever that wants a Nintendo for mom and dad, probably has never played Zelda. He wants something more casual or more something that's relatable. Yeah, so something like that, right? So like you need a bunch of casual games to lead with. You can't just lead with one of your best hardcore games, and that's going to be your only getaway, right? Like you need something else. And I don't think Nintendo right now has enough casual hooks to get people away from an Xbox One or a PS4. I just can't, or even their Wii or Wii U that people still have. I just can't see it happening right now. Not with Zelda.
Well, I mean,
Mario maybe.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. And I'm one of those people who, like many of us, grew up with Zelda. Like that was a part of my youth. That was a part of it is the strongest part of my gaming culture. That occasionally I'll get asked, get these silly questions that come up on Facebook and Twitter every now and again. It's like, if you woke up in a digital universe and it was a video game, what universe would you want it to be? And, one of my answers is always Zelda. I would love to live in Zelda. So I'm one of those people who would actually buy an NX for Zelda.
What a terrible place to live. Like some jerk said, come into your home at random, just smash up all your boxes and stuff. Like just steal all of your stuff, like no care in the world. Like you could be a shop owner and you'd be like, I'm a blacksmith. I only have X gold. And he just takes all the rupees You know what I mean? Like he doesn't care at all whatsoever. What a terrible, terrible world to live in.
I think it's
on a
more
green
because
tunic
of
and
the
a hat.
nostalgia that you get from it. That feeling of, it's almost like a feeling of home when you think about your time. For me, when I think about my time playing Zelda as a child and how much joy it brought me. So I think that that's why I was like, the first thing that comes to my mind for me is Zelda.
You know, it'd be a great world to live in, the Resident Evil world. Like every single time you have to open a door, you need like a crest and a key. You have to combine a whole bunch of stuff.
Wants to go live in Resident
right? Like,
Evil. What's wrong with you? Are you a
with like everything.
Oh my
What about Dark
god!
Souls?
It's better than Silent Hill.
I think it'd be great. If you want lunch, you have to combine like a red and green herb, and you have to just like do all these things.
Yeah, but
Spend your
what
day
if
yelling at Shiva to get over here.
yeah,
Why
what
not?
if you're the guy that had to go around and put ammo in all the lockers all throughout the city?
Yeah, that's a job. That's a job that someone has.
Stuff.
That's a job that someone has.
All right, so sorry, what was that, Julius?
I said there's an idea for a game.
Christian, you still taking notes?
Yep.
You're
So I guess we can this is like our Mythbusters section of the podcast. So that has been debunked, busted. As far as we're concerned, NX not coming out this year.
Well,
That's what I'd
there's
say.
no hardware, so Nintendo doesn't necessarily release anything by surprise. They always have some sort of announcement that shows the hardware off before.
Yeah, I mean, there's no shows left for the rest of the year. There's no showcases.
There's no Mario. There's no Mario. They need a Mario. They need it because Mario's two things.
on your
He's a
iPhone.
hardcore game. Yeah, but that's not gonna count. I'm not gonna feel like a downloadable freemium Mario. No, forget that. Nintendo NX, if they want to succeed, they have to lead with something that's both hardcore to gamers, which is a killer app, and something that appeals to casual kids and casual gamers that just want to like a cool looking game to play. Mario fits that bill for everyone. And if they can't, it would be the equivalent if they launched the Nintendo NX and their first freaking game was Battletoads 2017. It'd be the craziest thing in the world to do. You would just piss people off. And as much as I personally would love to see a resurgence, more Battletoads, because believe me, in the world today, not enough Battletoads. To lead with Battletoads would be crazy. I love Zelda. I really, really do. I love everything about it. But I don't like it being like a lead game because it's not strong enough on its own to carry people to buy the system in droves. It's just not going to happen.
Well, if they do,
I don't know.
they're going to
I
put the
disagree.
marketing push behind it, like they didn't do that with Wii U. We all know that. But if they're going to put the marketing push behind NX, and they are indeed going to do some of the remasters of their top titles from the Wii U, because they did have a killer library. It's just no one bought Wii U's. Yeah, so if they go that route and they have that as a part of some of the launch lineup, they definitely could.
I would love to find out the stats of the people that bought a Wii U, or the people that bought a Wii, I should say, to play like Zelda games that didn't have much experience into those games before, as opposed to the people that bought the Wii U because they wanted to play Zelda, or because they bought the Wii because they wanted to play Zelda. You know what I mean? Like I really want to find out that stat, because I can't see a lot of casual players being like, "Oh, sweet, Zelda time." Who says that? Not even Zelda people say that. You know what I mean? Like, Zelda people are going to buy Zelda because it's Zelda, but people that don't play any of the past Zelda games, I can't see them being like, this is the thing that's going to make me buy the Nintendo, when Xbox One can be on sale, when a PS4 can be on sale, when there's Uncharted, when there's Gears of War, when there's Halo, when there's that other thing that Sony has that's eluding my mind right now, Battletoads.
I don't know.
A bunch of other stuff.
No, Wii U moved
From
units.
what I've heard,
We moved units based on
Haze.
casual. It made it on Wii Sports is what
Yeah,
moved
exactly.
the Wii U, why it went.
A big casual game. Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, and when games like Mario drop, which is huge, like Mario Galaxy or whatever else, that's a big draw for both audiences, both hardcore gamers and casual gamers. I don't think Zelda's the game that's going to draw both audiences. I think Zelda is primarily a hardcore game for the hardcore Nintendo fanatics. And there's not enough of them. There's really not.
From what I heard, I mean, the Breath of the Wild booth was like the hardest booth. That and what was the other one, Bella?
Sorry, what was
We
that?
just talked about it the other day. two of the booths that were like the hardest to get, like the longest lines to get into at E3. One was like
but those are
Sea of Thieves.
but those are
Sea of
gamers
Thieves.
though. But those are already hardcore gamers that go to those conventions that want to see, like, those are their crowd. That's the it crowd of people that want to play those games. If you only play games casually, if you're just a kid or whatever, you're not going to go to those events. You don't really care about those. You know what I mean? Like, the hardcore gamers are always going to want a Zelda. They're always going to want a Zelda, and God bless them. But I mean, like, if you're going to base your console's launch off of your hardcore gamers or whatever, I mean, look at history. Look at the Wii U. How many hardcore Nintendo fans bought the Wii U? Why wasn't that a triumphant success? Because only the hardcore gaming fans of Nintendo bought that darn console, and not the casuals. The casuals stuck with their Xbox 360 or their PS3 or an Xbox One or a PS4 because it related to them. Nintendo already based an entire console off of, our hardcore guys, and it didn't work. There's not enough of them.
Yeah, no, I can see where you're coming from there, and that's a really solid point.
As a PC elitist, it is a darn good point, and it's correct.
I was waiting for that. I was so waiting for it. You guys should keep that irate, but it's coming.
Racist.
So
I'm like a low end PC elitist with me and my Dell.
He's like one of those people that just looks up to that looks up to all the people with the real PCs. He's like, I want to be like you. You're so cool.
And if you look on Steam, his most played game is 3D Mark.
Actually, I think you'll find that Askew's most played game on Steam is probably Marvel Universe.
I have over 700 hours put into that game. Dead serious.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the world
And it
you
is
want
a
to live
fun game. I've played a bit of it with him because I do occasionally dabble on my PC as well. And it's a fun game. I can see the appeal. But Askew likes to collect things, don't you? You like stuff. You like shiny things and games that allow you to collect it.
I do.
Piles upon piles upon piles of shiny, pretty, bright-colored things. Those are the kind of games you love.
I'm what the industry calls a whale. I've definitely kept more than one company alive through my time in gaming. That's for sure.
Oh, dear. All right, so before we move on from this subject matter, I would just like to hear from Christian, if I may. As a developer who's been in the industry for, 30 years now? From the time that you got your start to moving into AAA games to now running your very own game studio. Your opinion on, just before we completely call this debunked and myth busted, are you in agreement with me that there's no way in the world that there could be a rumor coming out now that is apparently leaking from Nintendo that they would be releasing it early enough to be able to have it on the shelves at Christmas with all the things that have to happen between then and now to achieve ample marketing to actually get these things to sell?
No, I would say it's pretty patently not really going to happen, because for one thing, if they're asking stores to make orders and this whole order thing, they would have sent out, a store is not going to go order, a Walmart's not going to order 10,000 consoles that they don't know what it is, and so they would have had to send out fact sheets with price points, and some of that would have leaked. We would have seen. I mean, anytime anybody sends anything to GameStop, it leaks in 15 minutes, because all the dorks behind the counter take pictures.
I think those same stores had that. I think those stores had that same response when Nintendo released the Wii U. They're like, "What is this? Send us fact sheets and proof to us what this thing does." They're just looking at it like curious. I don't understand this.
But if it came in a box with a question mark on it,
yeah,
it'd be pretty
And
obvious.
why is it called a Wii? How do we market something called Wii? All right,
that's what everybody said about the Wii, and then it went bonkers. So the Wii U, I think, from my opinion on the Wii U, what you just said is right. Like, nobody really knew what it was. Like the Wii people grokked immediately. It's like, oh, I hold this thing and I can throw bowling balls. But they had great
advertisement for it, though.
Yes,
they had the whole play thing where people in Nintendo were coming to people's homes and they're like, "Hey, do this," and you could see them motion with and moving, and it related to old people. How crazy is that? It related to old people and seniors. They loved it, and they bought it for their grandkids, and they played it. Yeah, exactly, right? They had great advertisement.
They haven't bought a console or a gaming platform since the Commodore 64, and they bought a Wii.
Well,
Exactly,
they bought it
because they had good advertisement.
Netflix and the exercise board thing.
Yeah, the yoga thing.
Yeah.
What did Wii U launch with? Zombie U?
Yeah.
A hardcore game that related to nobody?
They just did a horrible job, and most people just kind of thought that it was an addition. It was an add-on for the Wii.
Yeah. I thought it was like a Sega CD 32X type of thing, where it's just, I'm just adding more peripherals to my
Then they
Wii.
had something where there was like you can put it on the ground in front of you or something, and I was like, well, just like, so what? I'm gonna stand there and fling my controllers around and then step on this thing? Like I don't understand what. Like I still don't. I mean, I know what it is now because I played with it, but when it first got announced, it was kind of, is this an add-on? Is it what is this thing? It was not the best.
And those are not good questions. If you're a Nintendo and you're the head of marketing and you release the Wii U, and even prior to release, the questions you're getting back is, what is this thing? Somebody got fired. Someone got fired for sure. Yeah. And those like, seriously, guys, we invested all these millions upon millions of dollars. The freaking mass public doesn't even know what this thing is.
Mm-hmm.
That's not good. That's really bad.
Very
launch
true.
title, like you said, launch title wise. What's that?
So when you brand something wrong, it causes confusion.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
Which sometimes can generate good marketing. It can sometimes generate a lot of PR that ends up creating a lot more interest in your actual product, but it's got to be done right. And in the instance of Wii U, it wasn't.
Mm-hmm. Now, like as far as the Wii U goes, like I have fun with the system. I can see like my daughter, she's 2, she's already kind of picking it up and hitting it and playing with certain things. And there are great games on it, but when you talk about like the launch, like Anthony just said, they led with like Zombie U, which sort of showed what you could do with the tablet, but they never gave a compelling reason as to why you needed to have it. And they never explained what it really was.
It wasn't a killer app. And the problem, like, you don't need to have a big AAA title or even like a hardcore IP, to launch a console, but you have to have a game that's going to appeal to a broad spectrum of people. Zombie U, right off the bat, is a very niche game. People that like zombies are going to pick that up, and it's a very hardcore zombie game. It's not like a casual Left 4 Dead type of thing, right? So you're alienating a lot of the audience by that game right off the bat. Zelda's going to do the exact same thing for the NX if they decide to launch with that, because again, it's really only meant for hardcore fans. It is not a casual game.
Well, the thing that Kimishima said is like the reason they've been postponing and holding is because he wants to make sure, or the company is making sure, that the launch lineup is solid. So they're not going to just leave with Zelda. They have other things like planned, and that is one thing that they didn't do with the Wii U. So that is already promising if they deliver on that. We don't know what that's going to be. We've heard, again, rumors and speculation, but that, Nintendo usually, when it came to like launching a console, you look at like the GameCube, for example, or outside of, the Wii having Wii Sports, which, like you said, caught on with casuals, they usually came with a pretty strong launch lineup. The Wii U didn't have that. And on top of that, the messaging wasn't good.
Yeah, I think Zombie U maybe was appealing to Walking Dead fans, because I think at the time that was like one of the hottest shows on TV.
It was, yeah, and they obviously tried to capitalize on that, and it just didn't work.
It certainly wasn't appealing to gamers because we all hated it.
Right. But they also tried to like
Walking Dead.
No, Zombie.
Zombie.
No, I mean, I think one of the other things, just to throw it out there, is that there also wasn't a lot of developer support for the Wii U, and I think some of that had to do with the timing. A lot of people were already committed to next generation games, and Zombie U is a great example. That was Ubisoft, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what Ubisoft will do is you'll see them do it on every platform. They'll pick when some kind of new platform comes out, they'll basically make like one game for it to like test the waters. And if it's Just Dance, then they've just made bazillions of dollars. And if it's Zombie U, then they haven't. And then
this is what happens when you trust the French.
Yeah, that's how they kind of gauge different things. So like I think they made one title for the Kinect and it didn't do anything, so they just stopped. But
again, another disclaimer: we love the French. Profiteroles are one of my favorite.
Je ne parle pas français.
All right, so let's call it officially Mythbusted by RGM Podcast. NX not releasing in 2016.
Not happening.
Not happening.
You heard it here.
Stamp is on. Yeah.
You know, it'd be great. You know, it'd be great if they did release it and the game they launched with was Knack 2, the sequel to Knack.
Just like they just buy the IP from Sony.
They just pull another Bayonetta. Why not? It worked well with Bayonetta 2, right, guys? What else is a great game people love? Knack?
Oh God.
What's going on with that IP?
Yeah, nothing for a reason.
I bet you if we all looked into our pockets right now, we could afford to buy that IP. I've got about $7. Does anybody want to go halfers on me to buy Knack?
I got 55 cents in my pocket.
Could we call it Knick Knack Paddywhack?
We're close. We're almost there.
We should do this. We should do this.
We're probably still overpaying.
Yeah, let's put a Kickstarter together. No, I'm kidding. All right, moving along. Destiny, Rise of Iron, DLC launch this week. I had been waiting literally for, I think I've been doing the countdown from like 21 days out, 3 weeks out. Gets to launch night. I'm sitting there, I'm counting down the minutes. Gets to 2 minutes to go, 30 seconds to go. I reset the game, so I'm ready to come back in. I'm one of the first people on the server. No, even on the dot, even joining on the dot, servers down worldwide. So it took them like several hours to get it back up, and they eventually actually ended up adding a queue system to it. So as you would log in, it would tell you, error, you can't join the server. However, you are in a queue, and you will be joining the queue in X amount of people. So the first number that I got when I joined the queue was, and I'm going off memory, so I may get one of the last 2 or 3 digits wrong, but it was 298,340 something. So literally, understandably, my heart sunk into my stomach because I just I have to wait for 300,000 other people to get on the server before me. So I sat and I waited for about an hour, and I managed to get down to about 90,000 in the queue. So I was starting to get pretty excited. And then I got kicked. And they rejoined me at over 400,000. So it was a bit of a debacle. It didn't go very smoothly. A lot of people very unimpressed. However, I did stick it out. I stayed to my guns. I stuck it out for the night. I got online. I played Rise of Iron on launch night. And it is amazing. I'm having so much fun with it. I mean, Eric, you and I back and forth on Twitter about light all the time. Take a guess what my light is right now.
425.
Well, the cap is 385, so you guess.
No, I know. So you must be right at 385, if not on 385.
No. Like we're like 3 days in, and I'm at 352 and a half light.
That's what's up.
Yeah, like it's that's how much fun it is. I've just been playing it non.
But I was gonna say, if anybody would jump over the cap, you'd figure out a way.
Yeah.
That was like the only Destiny player that's like 495 light.
She's gonna call Bungie and go,
pull that off.
I'm Bella. Raise the cap, and they're like, okay.
Hey, God bless you for having the patience to actually play. I gave up with the waiting. I was just like, this is too much waiting. This is too big of a queue. I immediately went to another game when I started having to wait, and I chose SimCity, one of the best offline-only games released in the last 5 or 6 years, give or take. I did.
I was going to say, Ubisoft missed a key point there. They could have gone out and just like trolled the hell out of it. It's like, if you're waiting in queue, we have a game you can play.
Yeah.
Watch Dogs.
I had plenty to keep me occupied, though, because I was nice enough to let the community know on Twitter that the servers were actually down, that this is what was happening, and that the expected amount of time that it could take is up to potentially 6 hours for the servers to come back online. And the reason that I was quite okay with sitting in that queue and being quite busy during that time is, wasn't that a mistake? How dare I let them know how long they might potentially be in for a wait for? Because the onslaught of comments that I got on Twitter, and there was some to the point where I was actually told to go and commit suicide over it. Like, people were just losing their minds over the fact that it might take potentially up to 6 hours to get on the server. And it turns out I wasn't too far off, because it took them between, some servers started coming online in regions up to 3 hours later, and then it was just over 5 hours in completion for all regions to actually start getting on. But long story short, the DLC is absolutely amazing. Has anybody else played it yet?
No, I downloaded it, so I'm ready to rock on it. I haven't played it yet, though.
Okay, you need to go get that story done.
Will do.
Okay. So I'm the only one that's played the Rise of Iron DLC.
Yes.
Yeah, I haven't played it.
I am absolutely amazed. What is wrong with you
I
all?
heard on Twitter that the servers were broken, so I didn't play it.
Oh, very funny. Wow, I absolutely love the DLC. I highly recommend it. Eric, I'll help you through the story after we finish the podcast, all right?
My plan is, if Sarah cooperates, put her to bed, and then can start playing, you know.
It was strange.
She kind of has a mind of her own.
It was strange how angry people got at you about, because you didn't say anything controversial. You just said that the servers were down, and I didn't understand why people were yelling at you about that.
Yeah, I think they were just cranky and frustrated that they too, like me, probably had been spending the last 3 weeks counting it down and like literally checking the clock every 2 minutes to see if it was 7 o'clock yet, and then to see the servers down. I guess they were hoping that it wasn't that it was just like, you know, maybe it was going to take another 5 or 10 minutes just for everything to roll over and become live. So, yeah, I think they were just holding out hope that it wasn't going to be that dire, and then I go and confirm it actually was that dire. So I was the messenger and I got shot. But it's okay.
Yeah. You always get mad at the ones you care about the most, or the ones that are closest to you. They can't go screaming at Bungie, so yeah. You took the brunt of that one, Bella.
Yeah, absolutely. So before we get to the point where we're going to wrap up, I think we should probably do our giveaway.
Done.
Let's do it.
So what I'm actually going to announce that instead of just the people who retweeted us on Twitter, which is what we initially said you had to do to join, I think because everybody who has been in the live chat has been here the entire time and has been so active and been really polite and interacting with each other and chucking out some really good information about their experience as gamers and their gaming culture, and that anybody who is in the live chat right now, we're going to make you eligible to be a winner of one of the games. So, Eric, I believe that you've been able to randomly select a name from the chat.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so the name that we're about to read out is going to have their choice of either Destiny, the collection, which includes Rise of Iron, FIFA 17, or Mafia 3 on either the Xbox One, PlayStation 4, or the PC. So without further ado, let me give a little bit of a drum roll before Eric reads it out. And the winner is?
Not Nintendo.
Before I read this, are RGM employees eligible?
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm not an employee.
You guys can pay for your own shit.
Well, okay. Let's see. Our winner here, Angel Rodriguez.
Yay! Congratulations, Angel. I'm going to put my Twitter handle in the chat, Angel, and I would like you to message me on Twitter, and we will organize with you what platform you would like your game to be on and what game of those three you would like, and we will get that digital code across to you.
Woo!
Look at all the people joining.
Everybody's just like, I've been here the whole time. I'm commenting now. See, I'm here.
Way to be bandwagon jumpers, you douches. Just join it at the end for the prize.
There's like 5 people just joined in the last, 7 people. Oh my god. Do we have a consolation prize?
We do, but it's on Nintendo. No, I'm kidding.
Second prize is a Wii.
Yes, Mr. Homicidal, please feel free to unsub. Actually, I implore you, please unsub right now and never come back. Thank you. Oh, dear.
That's fantastic. We just pissed off the one Mario Kart guy we had in the whole group.
Oh, dear, that's great. Okay, so to wrap up, what I would like to do is just go around the table and ask everybody what games they've been playing throughout the week and what games they're excited for that are coming out in, say, the next 6 to 12 months at the most. So obviously games that we know that are going to be releasing in 2017 can be included. So let's start. Let's go from right to left from how I see people on my screen, starting with Christian.
So you know the answer to this, but I'm still playing Fallout 4. Yes. I just build stuff.
And Fallout Shelter.
Yeah, I did get a quest done finally, but man, my armor's sweet. But it's starting to get to the point that the UI in Fallout 4 for organizing your stuff is just terrible. It's like alphabetizing everything is like, you know, do I have my powerful hardened 44 Magnum or my tactical, you know, assault 44 Magnum, and which one's better? And so I spent 2 hours doing that. As far as what I'm looking forward to, I want to grab the new, which is the Forza Horizon 3 just came out. I need to grab that. And I actually want to play the BioShock collection because I never finished BioShock 1, so I want to go back and
me too.
I got pissed off with that game and quit, and then but I hear it's pretty good. So
awesome. Yep, that's a nice selection of games there. Now, who is sitting next to? I don't know. I can't see this. For some reason, you've gone. It's Eric. Your screen went black for some second there. It was really weird. All right, so Eric, what are you playing? What are you looking forward to?
Well, I will definitely be jumping into Rise of Iron, hopefully tonight.
Yes, you will.
Got to get that light level up, Bella, so I need help.
That light, though.
Also, I'm playing Recore, so I'm still working my way through that. Transistor. And let's see. And what I'm looking forward to, definitely Gears 4. And I'm going to be picking up Forza Horizon 3. And then later on, I'm looking forward to Gravity Rush 2.
Yeah, nice.
So, yeah. And like Christian said, BioShock Collection, that's still on my radar to pick up soon.
Yeah.
Or at some point. Yeah. There's so many games. I mean, dude, I could keep going, but, you know, realistically, that's about enough for now.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I mean, considering that backlog you've got.
Dude, my backlog's crazy. Crazy. And a 2-year-old does not give a damn about your backlog.
No, they do not.
Yeah.
So, Julius, how about you? What have you been playing and what are you looking forward to?
Well, anyone that follows me on Xbox knows that I'm a huge Halo 5 player, so that's usually the game that I rock out with my bros.
Really? So, like, at least there's got to be like what? How many? 5 to 6 people still on that server? No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, 7 on a good night. But you know, it's awesome because I got a message from Xbox saying that because you're such a dedicated Halo fan, you get the Warthog for free. I don't know if everybody got that, but I got it. So,
yeah. So
I'm like, hey, you know what? Thanks for the upsell. I even tweeted. I tweeted to Phil Spencer and Aaron Greenberg to thank them for the upsell. I was like, you know what? I kind of want to drive the Warthog in Forza Horizon 3 in an open world.
See,
so,
it works.
It worked. So they got me on that one. Really looking forward to Gears 4. My son and I were watching the trailer this morning. We kind of looked at each other and we're like, never play alone or never fight alone. I'm like, yep, you and I are doing this, bro.
I gotta say, I have to comment on the Warthog. The thing that annoyed me about the Warthog when they released that video is the whole point of the Warthog is it turns with all 4 wheels at the same time. It doesn't drive like a regular car, and that's why it's so maneuverable in Halo. But in Forza, it just drives like a normal car. So I was really disappointed. So I tweeted that Yeah, if you watch the video, the wheels just turn like a normal car. The back wheels aren't turning. So so I tweeted that to Greenberg, and then Bella tweeted me to get off Twitter, and then
And no working turret gun. What's up with that?
Yeah.
Yeah, there are certain nights where like you'll just be going through your Twitter feed and you'll just see from me to Christian, I was just like, get off Twitter now. Oh dear. Okay, so
I think you should be able to fire some bullets into the Bugatti next to you.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
it would be pretty cool actually. Anthony,
Yeah.
what are you playing? What are you looking forward to?
What I'm looking forward to the most, I forgot the title, but it was that Final Fantasy K-pop video game that they have coming out. That looks pretty cool. Just because, again, like just an open world Final Fantasy appeals to me. But what I'm playing right now is my favorite game, probably in the last couple of years. It's a game where I talk to like Walking Dead fanatics, and I tell them, yeah, I'm a hardcore Walking Dead fan. I talk about the show. I'm a little bit behind on the show. And when they go, oh, well, where are you at in the show? I go, okay, well, I'm at the part where the main guy, Rick, I think it is, just discovered that Shane has been sleeping with Lori. OMG. I don't know how they're going to get over that. I don't know how they're going to get over that at all. That's probably going to be like a big thing. I'm excited to see where it goes. Who knows? But yeah, that's going to be a tough one. That is probably going to be the toughest one. It is awkward in here. Woo! Great show. That's the game that I'm playing right now. It's amazing. It's amazing.
What video game? Oh my god, never mind.
Oh, that's fantastic. Okay, so I guess it's me that's left. So whilst I'm going through what I've been playing this week and what I'm looking forward to, if there's anybody in the chat section that has a question they'd like to ask, just pop it on in there and we'll get to that before we finish up. So I mean, Rise of Iron, been playing the shit out of Rise of Iron. I've spent the last week playing Forza Horizon 3, and it is just stunning, like mind-blowingly stunning. I'm absolutely in love with the game. The controls feel how they should. Like, actually, you know what? I'm not going to go into too much detail because my review will actually be up tomorrow, which also goes into a bit of detail about how I feel when it comes to the voice actors they use for Australian accents.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, there's that. But outside of that,
you got to mention the thing about the Warthog wheels too. That's really important.
Indeed. I've actually got that noted down, and the steering wheel compatibility and all of that. You guys can read all about it tomorrow. I'm somebody who's played Forza Motorsport and Forza Horizon for many, many years, and I've played many other racing games as well, and I'm a major fan of many other racing franchises too. So this is my honest opinion of how this game shapes up against its predecessors, plus other competing racing franchises. So be sure to check into RGM tomorrow afternoon. Have a look at that. You'll be able to catch the video on this YouTube channel as well. So what else have I been playing? I've been playing a lot. Like I've been playing on my Vita with Borderlands. I recently got Minecraft on my PS Vita, not because I'm playing it, but my 5-year-old nephew is like getting obsessed with every time I go over and so we have a weekly visit down with my grandma, and my sister comes over with the kids and all my aunts and everything. And the first thing that my 5-year-old nephew comes up and asks me is if he can play on my Vita. So I bought Minecraft for him, and he just sits down and we don't hear a peep out of him the entire time. It's fantastic. But I'm moving him away from playing games on his tablet to getting him used to using analogs, because you know, he's at that age now where I think I can mold him into like a next MLG gamer. So I'm going to take him from Minecraft and then put him on Call of Duty. But games that I'm anticipating, Sea of Thieves is one of the games that I really, really cannot wait for. Scalebound is up there. I'm really keen to see what they've done with that. Final Fantasy definitely is on that list. Gears, yeah. I am looking forward to Gears because I've played every single other edition in the Gears franchise before and absolutely love Gears. Well, to the point where I have my own cog tags with my gamer tag and clan name engraved in the back of them. I love me some Gears of War, but the problem is,
I think they
over here in Australia, pardon?
I think they peaked at Judgment. I can't see them getting better than that.
Ooh. You're just trying to piss everyone off today, aren't you?
Oh,
Shots fired.
The
Bang,
problem with being an Australian playing Gears of War is that our servers over here have always been relatively decent until the Coalition brought out UE, and unfortunately it's almost unplayable. Just the lag is insane. So I'm going to give it about a month or two, and I'm going to follow the videos of some of my favorite Gears of War YouTubers that are in Australia and just check out and see how their experiences are going with it.
I love how they're called the Coalition. I love how they're called the Coalition, and they're like ruining stuff for people. They sound like a heel faction in like professional wrestling.
Yeah.
Like, it's the Coalition again, slowing down everyone's leg, interfering in my matches.
And they've got shoulder pads and spikes on them.
The Coalition with the teraflop from the top turnbuckle.
Teraflop.
The teraflop.
Oh, wow. Actually, on the subject matter of teraflops, for anybody here who doesn't actually understand what a teraflop is and how it is going to affect the Xbox Scorpio, please head over to RGM, which is www.realgamemedia.com. Just type in the search bar teraflops. There is an article there that will explain to you exactly what teraflops are, how they interact with the console, and what that means for the productivity of it, and plus what it means to the developers who have access to making games for it. Go and check it out. Educate yourselves before talking about the subject matter, please.
There is an entire generation of kids today, that only know Nintendo from the Wii U, and that makes me happy. Anytime someone brings up a Nintendo, like, hey, NX is coming out, and some like little 5 or 6-year-old kid's gonna be like, the Wii U people? Not for me.
Well, it would seem
what's funny with that? I'm sorry, Bill.
No, please go, Eric.
I was gonna say, what's funny with that is, Nintendo catches a beating, but everybody gets excited when a Nintendo-like game is on their platform. Because I'm looking at you, Oceanhorn, because I look at that game and I'm like, how the hell did they get that game out?
Yeah.
It looks exactly like Wind Waker.
Oh, dear.
But people were excited about it. They're like, oh my God, that game looks like a Zelda game on my Xbox or my PlayStation. I'm like, see, Nintendo's not irrelevant. Because everyone wants to aspire to be like that.
Yeah. True that. Well, it would seem that we haven't left any stones unturned because we don't seem to have any questions coming through. Oh, as I said that, there comes through a question from TL Productions who says, now I need to know who you guys think will win the Universal Championship this Saturday, the Clash of the Champions, assuming you still watch WWE. Anthony, that is all you.
Kevin Owens. That's a stupid question.
He doesn't really mean that, TLP.
What a stupid question. You even watch wrestling, you stupid idiot?
Had me. No. Come on, don't be an elitist.
No,
that was
the
Jericho reference.
That was the
Jericho reference. I'm going heel. I'm promoting the show. I'm getting into character. This is great. I'm getting a reaction. You hear people laughing? I'm getting over right now. This is a huge pop. People in gorilla position are like, wow, this is going really good.
He's going to take him to the tool shed. What am I saying? Wood shed.
Oh, goodness. Oh, dear. Okay, awesome. So apparently now we have turned over all stones. So we're going to wrap up. We really appreciate everybody who joined us live and communicated in the chat. You guys have just been talking nonstop and bringing out some really good points, a bit of nostalgia, interacting really politely with each other. Thank you so much for being here to support our return podcast. Obviously, we will be back again. And if there's anything that you'd like to hear from us, please send us through a message. You can follow us on Twitter at Real Game Media, I believe is our Twitter handle, at Real Game Media. I went to say at RGM, but it's not. So please feel free to follow us there. But apart from that, I think we're done. We're going to wrap up for the night. I'm going to go take Eric through the storyline of Rise of Iron and have a scotch.
Vote Trump.
Don't vote Trump.
Put up those walls.
God, I'm getting us out of here before we break some kind of constitution.
Become a PC elitist. Put up those walls.
I'm never
do we
working
get $1 every time we say Trump?
And on that note, this has been an RGM podcast.